Today's the 28th of June. Out here at the lease, I'm gonna start building a deer stand today. I'm gonna get the post set and get them in concrete, get them lined up, get the floor of the thing notched out, and I'll get everything plumbed up and squared up. And where I'm gonna put it is right behind me here. So this was the location of a deer stand. You see it completely rotted back there. I just took the tractor and bulldozed everything back in there. Got some huge trees in here, a lot of hardwoods. It's really nice. You see through here, I'm going to be able to cut in and see this whole field from this stand. So I'll be able to hunt that, and then turn in here. Had a tree fall down there. I got to bring a chainsaw in and get that out. Pretty good sized maple. But I've got this field here opened up now, and the plan here is to have a corn feeder in that very far corner down there, something I can keep the hogs out of. And I've got a trail cut here all the way down along this big timber line and around these little pines. So these pines I'm not messing with. There's maybe a couple acres of them in there. Really thick and heavy, really good bedding area. So I'm just not going to mess with it. But so the whole plan is to get this notched out where the 4x4s are going to sit inside of it. That's basically a 5-inch notch, 5 inches this way, 5 inches this way. The 4x4 will sit down in the notch. What that allows me to do is to take a 2x6 and go on the outside of my 4x4 and come right to the edge of this right here. So I'll have an 8-footer, 8-foot 2x6 come here, go all the way from end to end, and then there'll be another shorter 45-inch 2x6 sitting here and go to that end, and it'll nail right into the 4x4s. And that'll square everything up and get everything level. And that way when I put the sheathing on, then I can bring the sheathing right down over the 2x6s, and everything will be nice and watertight, and I don't have to worry about, just sitting in there rotting. But these are 16-foot 4x4s. I tell you, I went through a crap ton of them looking for decently straight ones. They're okay. I think I can make it work, but that's tough, boy. That stuff is just garbage. And then that's pressure treated plywood, 3/4 inch. And what I do is I just notch it, lay it over there on the ground, and then mark it where the posts are going to go, then dig my holes. And then once the holes are dug, then I'll put this piece of plywood back, and then I'll set the 4x4s in the notches in the holes, and then concrete them in. And that keeps everything square. The big problem you have is, getting everything lined up, this way and this way. Sometimes you get everything kind of cocked off, and then nothing lines up, and it's I've been there and done that. It's not fun. But these are going to be sunk 2 feet in the ground, so that leaves 14 feet above the ground. This floor will be set at 12 feet off the ground, so that gives me another 2 feet sticking up above the floor, and that's what I'll nail the walls to. So it works out really well. And that way I have sill plates and my wall studs to just be anchored to each 4x4 in each post. It makes it pretty tight once you get the skin on it and get everything tightened up and snugged up. But got a little chainsaw work in there to do before this is really good, but this will all grow in. That I had pushed that over. That had kind of grown over this whole thing here. I really didn't even know that stand was there until I finished in this field and was driving out and saw it sticking above the trees of all this crap. But well, I'm gonna go ahead and get at it. It's really important to try to get this thing oriented right kind of the first time. So I want to be able to sit here and look. That field runs from about there to there, so I want to have this whole area here, be able to hunt and shoot through here. This tree's going to stay, but I'll trim it up, excuse me, and that right there will all be cleared out, you know, up about 8-9 feet. I'll clear everything out there, so I got a good shooting lane there. On this side, you know, I'm standing here on this, the way this floor will be, which means my chair will be sitting in here looking at this. My door will probably be, stairs will probably come up to here, so I'll probably sit on this side, which means I'll be able to look and just make it down that row right there and be able to see anything coming out that far corner. Got good sight of this corner, no sight of this corner here, but that's all right. Not a big deal, but I think this is probably going to be the best angle here. And what I'll also do, I'll have a window here, you know, and this side here will be open, and I can go down in here and clean this out. I don't have really any big trees to get back in there, about, looks about 25 yards. So I can make a shooting path down into here as well. Catch anything coming along, scooting along the side of these fields. So I think this is going to be the orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and get the corners marked, and then we'll get the holes dug. So what I do to mark where the holes are going to go is I just take those cutouts that I just had and set them in the notches, and then roll the board out of the way. Roll the plywood out of the way, and I know exactly where those are going to go. It helps keep everything square as much as you can off the bat. Get yourself too crazy off. Damn roots down this thing. Oh shit. Trying to take enough breaks. It's about 90 degrees out here. Probably 90% humidity. It is hot, man. Sweat just rolling off me. I'm trying to keep hydrated here. Drinking as much as I can. I can take a rest about every 10 minutes or so. Man, I'm soaking wet. It is tough carrying stuff with one leg. So I laid the plywood down. So now I'm getting put the 4x4 post in there, get it right in the crotch there. Try to get it just about level as I can get it. And then pour the concrete in. Get that one set. Over here, do this one. And then I'm off a little bit here. And ain't that much. I'll be able to take care of that up top when I put the floor joist on. This is the last one here, and so what this does is keeps all these boards from, getting out of whack. So all the faces are correct, and it's square. And you don't have to pull a lot of measurements and guess, which is a pain in the ass in the woods. So it's kind of a idiot-proof way of doing this. But on the last one, then I'll give this a week to set up. Then we'll come back and we'll go up top, put right at 12 feet is where the base of this floor. This is, like I said, this is the floor, so this is going to go up and go on the floor joist once those are on. Box this out perfectly level all the way around, all four, and then we'll take this board here and take it up on the ladder and put it and make it the floor. Tighten everything up. All right, so that's how we'll leave it for the week. Everything nice and plumb. Let that concrete just soak up the groundwater. It'll set up in a week. And we'll come up and start getting the deck on.